Good afternoon. I want to continue my series of videos that acknowledges and celebrates the U.S. Army's efforts during World War II. Specifically in this one, I want to talk about the things that were going on after the invasion of Normandy and some of the events that took place. So I'm here in front of the 4th Infantry Division headquarters here on Fort Carson, and 4th Infantry Division was a huge part of the invasion force that was able to secure the beachhead there in Normandy. They took part of the landings at Utah Beach, and they were fairly successful compared to the issues that happened over on Omaha Beach. So 4th Infantry Division has a long and storied tradition of their efforts of securing the Normandy region during World War II during the summer of 1944. So following on from the D-Day invasions, and to go back through the timeline, June 6, 1944, the invasion happens where the largest seaborne force comes across the channel, does an invasion of Normandy, and establishes a beachhead. But after that, it became very difficult, and they were fighting through the hedgerow country, which is called the Bocage region, and they were fighting through this region, very difficult. They were expending 1,000 people a day, meaning they had 1,000 casualties a day for the fighting that they were doing, but they're only gaining up to a mile a day. So 1,000 bodies to gain 1 mile's worth of distance. And after several weeks, they'd only gotten 10 miles inland from the beachhead. Certain parts of the beachhead could see the front line, so they had not advanced that far. So on July 25th, Operation Cobra took place, where the Americans broke out of that Bocage region and started making significant advances in distance. At the same time, Patton's army made an invasion and landing down on avalanches, and avalanches on the southwest portion of the Continental Peninsula, and the Normandy invasion had happened over on the northeastern portion of it, and those forces were able to meet and cut off any of the German forces that were up north of them. So they were really starting to secure that portion of the Normandy region. And so as they started advancing and making significant advances, the Germans came up with an operation to counter them. The Germans created Operation Luttich, which was the German counterattack to try to stop the Americans from making such advances. So the Americans advanced through a narrow corridor, and what the Germans were trying to do was to cut them off and create a situation where the Americans would have to retreat back and give up a lot of the terrain that they had already secured so that they wouldn't be cut off from their other forces. So the German attack was a consolidation of about 7 different divisions. Now, the Germans had really been cut down a lot, and they didn't have like full divisions. They weren't operating on full strength. So if you say a division, it really wasn't a full division, but nonetheless, they had about 7 divisions, panzer divisions. Over 200 tanks were going to take part in this attack. And you think about this, a massive amount of people. So 100,000 soldiers, over 100,000 soldiers, over 200 tanks, and they're going to do a breakout and a push to stop the Americans. So what happened was the 30th Infantry Division and portions of the 1st Infantry Division took the brunt of this attack. It happened early in the morning, starting off at 7th of August, and it hit these units. Well, the 2nd Battalion, 126th Infantry Regiment of the 30th Infantry Division took a hill named or numbered Hill 314. So Hill 314 is where the 2nd Battalion went up to. So it was approximately 700 men got up on top of this hill, and there was a 1st Lieutenant Charles Bartz and a 2nd Lieutenant Robert Weiss, and these two were forward observers with an artillery unit attached to this battalion of the 30th Infantry Division. And these guys, who had batteries that were starting to fade, were calling in artillery on the crossroads and the artillery on the armor movements that were being conducted by the Germans, and they were able to withhold this area, and the town was called Mortain. So it's a very famous battle and a very famous historical piece of American Army's resilience and strength to be able to stop the German advance and their counterattack against the Americans after they had launched Operation Cobra. So on Hill 314, which is just above the city of Mortain, this infantry battalion dug in and created a defensive position, and they were able to withhold against numerous attacks from the Germans, and they were able to maintain their positions despite being shelled by the Germans, and they had attacks by tanks. Also what helped them out was Army Air Corps came with a whole bunch of P-47 fighter bombers, and so any tanks that were moving during the day were getting attacked from the air as well as from artillery, and it was a very famous battle and definitely worth a read. I'm going to put a couple of videos down in the comments for you to check out. Again, these videos are something you can listen to as you're driving or if you're doing something, but it's a significant portion of the U.S. Army's history and the fact that they were very resilient and able to withstand the attack that they received and then to fight back.